Welcome to Friday night. I'm AJ Hammer, live in New York City.
And I'm Brooke Anderson, live in Hollywood. And look who's talking again, Charlie Sheen, AJ.
That's right, Brooke, the star of one of TV's biggest hits, 2.5 Men, back on the radio today, and he was talking 9/11. Now, ever since we first reported Sheen's controversial comments that he made on the Alex Jones radio show about a possible government cover-up of what actually happened on September 11th, the story has exploded. We have been overwhelmed by the thousands of passionate emails that we've been getting. We're going to read some of them, a lot of them, throughout the next hour. Well, today, Sheen called in once again to the Jones Show. He had more to say. In just a moment, I'll be speaking with Alex live. But first, let's listen to what Sheen had to say today about 9/11, about his critics, and about Showbiz Tonight.
I had a sense that this thing was going to get hot. I didn't realize that, as you say, it was going to go supernova.
Charlie Sheen's comments on a possible 9/11 conspiracy have definitely gone supernova. This star is earning both criticism and praise. Calling into Alex Jones' radio show today, Sheen was sure to heap his own praise on Showbiz Tonight for being the first major news outlet to bring Sheen's 9/11 comments to light.
I have to tip my hat to CNN, to Showbiz Tonight, to AJ Hammer, for having the courage, for having the guts, for having the wherewithal to give someone like myself, someone like you, the actual time and the focus to examine these issues. I think this is the most attention in mainstream coverage that this topic has ever received.
The response we got today to the incredible story Showbiz Tonight broke last night.
Showbiz Tonight has been on top of this firestorm since it began Monday, when Sheen called Alex Jones' radio program to speculate that maybe we weren't hearing the real story behind 9/11.
It seems to me like, 19 amateurs with box cutters taking over 4 commercial airliners and hitting 75% of their targets. That feels like a conspiracy theory.
But speaking on the radio today, an angry Sheen went after those who, responding to his 9/11 statements, are now attacking his wild and controversial past.
And the majority of them, in fact 90% of them, were attacking me personally. Were attacking my credibility. I am an American citizen that loves my country. And as a citizen, with my passion for this great country, I demand that I be challenged on the facts, not on, immature behavior from 20 years ago. That if they continue to attack me personally, it only gives credence to our side of the argument.
Sheen is making crystal clear that this is something he's going to continue to speak out about.
People want the truth. They want the truth. And what's been offered to us resembles nothing of the sort.
Joining me live tonight, the guy who Charlie Sheen has been speaking with on the radio. I'm talking about Alex Jones, who's joining me live from Austin, Texas. Alex, welcome back to Showbiz Tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you being here. So let's talk about the fact that people are going after Charlie. We've gotten a lot of emails where people are attempting to attack his credibility. That's the natural thing that's going to happen. They're talking about things that happened a long time ago. What about this? Is his past at all a liability as you see it, or are these attacks basically going to backfire?
Let me just say this. CNN had a poll a year ago, 90% on CNN, on the Anderson Cooper show, believe the government's covering up 9/11 and may be involved. Your new poll 5 minutes ago before Showtime, 81% of over 20,000 respondents, 81% agree with Charlie Sheen, as I told you. And they've had many other polls with other news services, and we get the same type of numbers. On my own talk show and other talk shows I've done, we get the same response. You have a minority that won't face the facts. Listen, Charlie Sheen isn't the first person to go public. He's just the first Hollywood person to have the courage to do what he's doing. We have former Reagan administration officials. We have former Bush senior officials. We have the current chief economist from George Bush's current administration, who quit just a couple of years ago and has gone public, and he says the government carried out the attacks. German defense ministers, members of British of Blair's cabinet have quit.
Alex, as a Hollywood guy, with a sordid past that he owns up to, and it's well behind him, it's going to be an easy attack point. So, what I'm asking you,
what he says is, don't believe me, check out the facts. Go look at the evidence. Don't believe the attack dogs. It isn't about Charlie Sheen or Alex Jones or AJ Hammer. Right. It's about NORAD standing down. It's about bombs in the buildings. It's about Pentagon documents saying they wanted to carry out these attacks and blame it on foreign enemies. This is all public. That's why all these physicists and politicians and people and congresswomen, Cynthia McKinney went public 3 years ago saying there's a cover-up, very suspicious, called for a real investigation. But there are hundreds of prominent people. They just never get attention.
It's getting a lot of attention now. And Charlie Sheen came on your show the other day, and he was back on today. We know what's going on here at CNN and at Showbiz Tonight because of the thousands of emails that we've been getting. So let me ask you this. What do you think now that there is this sort of forward momentum? What do you think is going to happen now that hasn't happened before as a result of this new level of attention?
Well, I mean, Americans love celebrity, and the average American is obsessed with it more than anybody in the world, except maybe the Japanese. And he selflessly is sacrificing himself to be attacked just to get people talking and looking at it, because he told me he loves his children just like I do. Listen, I get death threats over this stuff, but ideas are bulletproof. And the New World Order better stop carrying out terror attacks. We've caught them over 200 times in the last 100 years. Western governments doing this. Hitler does it. The British do it. The Russians did it. Governments do this. And I'm not saying the whole government. Very small criminal black world is what they're called. Operators are carrying this out. That's the facts. Please go investigate it, ladies and gentlemen. You will discover the truth. Look at America. It's turning into a police state. Well, let's put cameras in school bathrooms.
Let's bring it back to what's happening this week and what you and I have been talking about. And yesterday on this program, you told me Charlie Sheen, not alone among Hollywood celebrities. You told me that while you wouldn't name names, you're in touch with quite a few celebrities who feel the same way that Charlie feels about what may have actually happened on 9/11. So my question is, do you think since we've had this uproar this week and Charlie is taking this risk and speaking out, we're going to be hearing from more celebrities who will go public?
Well, I mean, the majority of the American people support Mr. Sheen, despite the attack dogs. He's winning the war of polls, and literally almost everyone I talk to in Hollywood, very prominent people, I have a lot of friends in Hollywood, and they've all sought me out. I'm not some Hollywood person.
Is anyone indicating to you that they may actually come forward? And I asked you yesterday, I'm going to ask you again, can you tell us a couple of the names of those people?
No, because they have confidence in me, and I'm not even pushing them to go public. I didn't push.
Do you sense they may go
Charlie to go public?
Do you sense that
yes, I think you're going to see. Yes, I think you're going to see more people, and some of them may be people I don't even know. Listen, everybody in Hollywood I talk to, pick a name, any name. I've talked to hundreds of them. Okay, they seek me out. They're aware of it. They talk about it. They're constantly aware.
You clearly have a lot of supporters, of course, and you're very familiar with this end of it. We've gotten the thousands of emails this week, and not all of them, Alex, are glowing. Obviously, you get the same. You get the same thing.
81%.
I'm with you on
it right now.
I'm with you on that. I don't know at this very moment. We're going to get into that in just a second. But of course, when this happens, we do get emails saying, "Oh, we think that people like Charlie Sheen and Alex Jones are whack jobs." Are you at all concerned that the louder you raise your voices, the wackier you might seem to those people?
You know what? No, I'm not worried, because we have put the facts out there, and I challenge them, instead of just using little buzzwords and junior high mentality propaganda, to actually go look at my claims. Is a current Bush administration official, has he quit and said the government ran the attacks? Yes. Did Dr. Morgan Reynolds say that, chief economist, Department of Labor? Is Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, the father of Reaganomics, the father of it, who was at the highest levels of the Treasury in the Bush administration, has he gone public saying he questions 9/11? Sir, the American people are going to learn the truth. Nothing can stop the truth from coming out on 9/11, and we're in danger of the New World Order carrying out more terror attacks to keep this war for empire.
Well, Alex, I'm out of time once again, but what I appreciate is that you're encouraging people above all else to seek out the facts, and that's what I think you're doing an excellent job
people need to go to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. I'm risking my life. We're doing this for the American people and our children and our future, and thank you for having the courage to let me come on. God bless you.
Alex Jones, live from Austin, Texas. Thank you. And what should we